All right, you guys, welcome back to another review on Married at First Sight. Red flags. Let's talk about these red flags, y'all. Let's talk about how Spectrum tried to mess me up with this review. All right, y'all, keep watching. My name is Kourtney and welcome to our channel. My husband Eddie is not here because y'all already know I do this particular review solo. Let me tell you what this channel is all about. For those that are watching for the very first time, this channel is about us, Kourtney and Eddie. We do relationship topics. We talk about marriage, and we also try to do reviews that are pertain to marriage or relationships. And right now I'm doing Married at First Sight. Yes, Married at First Sight. So before we get into it, y'all, because I got some stuff that I want to talk about. Y'all already know who I'm finna talk about. Well, maybe you don't, because I got a different person this time. But before we get into that, if this is your first time joining, welcome to the family, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching us via Facebook, make sure that you hit like and follow. And of course, we're gonna get in these comments and talk down below, because y'all be having some interesting stuff to tell me. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into it. So it first starts out with the couples, of course, are waking up. They're still at this beautiful resort. And for those that don't know, I'm a travel agent, and I have been on different seminars, and I remember seeing them. I've never seen my client there, and this resort makes me want to go there once the country open back up and all that stuff and we're free to travel. So I definitely want to go to this resort because I see for myself it looks fantastic. And I know that some of my colleagues have sent their clients there. But anyway, I just want to put that in there. So they're waking up, and Woody is talking to Armani, and pretty much he's saying, "Are you scared?" And he probably can notice her pullback or her reservoir, so to speak, that she is maybe, a little, in it, but then pulled back at times. And so he kind of asked her that question. She was like, "Of course, yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared of the unknown. I'm scared of, what am I going to, what it's going to be like once we get back to real life. Are you going to change? Will our Sephora, this place of happiness, will this change?" Because right now they are, along with Amelia and Bennett, they're pretty much one of the happiest couples on their honeymoon. So they're just having this just total serene of happiness, and they're just enjoying each other. And so, he's just asking a honest question, and she gave him an honest answer. And I think she has a right to be. She also said, previously before and this time that things start out good, but then they end up taking a turn. So yeah, they haven't had any arguments or anything like that. They just been happy. So they decided to meet up with Olivia and Brett, and basically they was just making fun, Woody was, of how Bert left the bachelor party, and they said that he did the Irish goodbye. He was gone, and he basically said he was starting to feel a little sick and stuff like that. So guess instead of getting sick around everybody, he just decided to go ahead and dip out. And he did wink at Armani, and Armani was like, "No, I'm not feeling him. Like, why you wink? Don't wink at me." I like her slow talk. I really like her little drag. I enjoy to hear her talk. And she was like, "Don't look at me. Don't wink at me. I don't know. I don't trust him." So she not feeling him already. So now let's move on to Amelia and Bennett. And they were talking about, their last relationship. How was it? She asked him, how was it? Because I know that you stayed with, your previous girlfriend or whatever. And he was saying, well, they really pretty much did, they cared for each other, when he was, I guess, coming in late, then, from, I guess, doing his job, or, being a musician, that she would leave the lights on for him and stuff like that, and they fold each other clothes and all that stuff. And he was saying that, you know, in the beginning he's skeptical about, I guess, about any relationship, and then later on he ended up, you know, falling in love with him or having a huge crush on him and stuff like that. And I still like them. I think I enjoy their honesty with each other. I enjoy where they are. And she ended up playing him a song, y'all, and her voice is just so angelic to me. I just really enjoyed it, and he just enjoyed it. He was tapping his little feet and everything, so I really enjoyed them, y'all. Okay, now let's get on to Christina and Henry. Again, y'all said that some of you said that you know, you can tell that Henry is autistic, and again, they're probably form different levels of it. But I didn't see that this episode. I seen that he is coming out, and like I said before, I think he's just awkward. But it seems like he's coming out of his shell. It could also be editing. Maybe they want us to see that, you know, it don't look like he talked, but he actually talks, so he talks. But anyway, Christina was talking to, well, actually production was talking to her, and they call her Christine, and she said, it's Christina. Now let me tell you something. I don't think production likes her. I know production don't like her. Why? Because they're putting some shady stuff in there. They're putting her parts, to me, of what production is saying to her. Just like she got caught up. She got caught in that door with that veil. Better watch it, Christina, because they're going to do some other shady stuff because they don't like you. Now, I don't know if you didn't know that, but they don't like you. They don't like your attitude. They don't like that you're impatient. I think that maybe you talk down to them, and they don't like that. Yeah. All right. So, Henry was saying that, you know, she's very impatient, and she admit, yeah, I am impatient. You know, as we can see, Henry is very patient, and he's very slow, not just with speech. I think maybe he thinks his thoughts. He's very patient. And Christina is high beat, to me, fast, like, you know what I'm saying? He opposite of that. So production asked him a question. Is there something you want more or less from each other? And at that time, I think he put food in his mouth, and she was like, oh, you just gonna put your food in your mouth? You ain't gonna answer the question? He was like, no, I'm gonna answer the question. So she is very impatient. I think that's one thing he said, you know, he want her to be, you know, more patient. And she said, well, I think that you can move faster. You know, I'm not used to being the aggressor. I can't tell you. I'm not used to, you know, being in a position where I have to pretty much take charge. I can't tell you. I can't tell, girl. You doing a good job on this. You know, I guess when you got to do, you gonna sink or swim, and you is swimming. So, yes, that's what she really truly wants him to come out of his comfort zone and look like he is, and she wants him to, you know, pretty much make the first move. So just give him some time. He'll probably do it. Maybe it's not to your liking, but to his, so to speak. Okay, so let's move on to Bennett and Armani. Excuse me, I'm getting all these names mixed up. Bennett and Amelia. They were pretty much out for a walk and stroll, and I think they asked a question about, you know, what is love, or and I didn't write this down, but it was like, and basically what he said is that if you really and truly love someone, and I know in the comments y'all will correct me or tell me, you know, exactly what was said, but as far as being, he was like, you know, when you really love someone, you would be in a cardboard box. It doesn't even matter. And basically, I guess he was saying they won't get on your nerves, or you'll just want to be in that cardboard box with them. You know, I think that was either her saying that or him saying that. I think he said it. And I thought that was like, oh, cool. You know, I could definitely be in a cardboard box with my husband. And we may at times get on each other's nerves, but, you know, I wouldn't want to be in no cardboard box with nobody else, you know. And I do understand what he's saying in that, especially during these times of quarantine, because yeah, a lot of people, as far as marriages, are going through, because some people don't have nowhere else to go, and they're not used to being in that place with their spouse for that longer period of time. And so some people are like, I'm out. Okay, so she said that, you know, Bennett was saying that his parents, you know, gave him, like, if they wanted to go somewhere, do something, they want to go play, she was like, his mom was like, you gotta give me 150 kisses. And I thought that was so cute. I just like, even their upbringing seemed cute and fun and light, which it seems like it developed in their personality. And they were just, I think he asked the question, would you want to treat your children, like, would you want your children to be treated like you were treated as a kid? And I was like, okay, that's a good question to ask, And I think both of them was like, yeah, why not? Because they pretty much, even though they had tests and trials, they pretty much had a good upbringing as far as their parents. And I think somebody asked him about flirting, and he was like, I really don't know how to flirt. And I think both of them are doing a good job of flirting, but he was like, I really don't know how to flirt, I mean, like, I don't know if I'm flirting or not, He was like, shoot, I'm funny and stuff like that, but I be like that with my friends. So am I flirting with my friends? It was just funny the way he said that. So anyway, let's move on to Karen and Miles. Y'all know that Karen be working my nerves. Yeah, she do. But anyway, so yeah, they were out swimming and having a good time. And Miles shared with Karen that, years ago, he was diagnosed with clinical depression. And y'all, I don't know what I would have done if this was me. If I was Karen, I really truly, I'm not going to come down on her. Yeah, because one thing when you're dating, and if somebody was to tell you that when you were dating, you have the option of whether you want to bow out gracefully, or continue, because clinical depression means, like he said, his moods could be in and out. Some days could be good, some days could be bad, some days I want to be left alone, some days I want to talk. I don't know. I think that really and truly could be tough on their relationship and in their marriage, especially if that person is not empathetic to that other person. And as we can see right now, Karen is like, she's looking for a way out, and she talking about this and that, and he young, and he been in 10 relationships. To add this on top of it, it's like, oh my goodness. So I don't know. I really truly don't know. I'm quite sure, yes, he wanted to be honest, and maybe it was too soon. But he said he's good as long as he take his medicine. And she asked the questions like, how would I know? How would I know when you good? How would I know when you bad? He was like, well, I'm gonna communicate that to you. But y'all, that's a lot. That's a lot. If she can endure, she's a trooper. If she don't bail out, she's really good. But I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be hurtful or harmful for them going forward. I hate that for Miles, and maybe that's why he kind of, people said there's something about him. Maybe he's adding on, trying to cover up. So, and this is my opinion. I really and truly don't think that neither one of them was ready for this, because like I said, when you're dating, you have the option. If somebody was to give you that, they're married and they still have the option of getting a divorce, but this is something they signed up for and they wanted to continue. Nobody wants to really have a divorce on their record, but yeah, so, he was glad that he opened up, and she said, well, I thank you for sharing that information, but you can tell her whole body language is like, oh, this ain't going to be good at all. This ain't going to be good. This just add insult to injury. And he was just saying black men don't always feel comfortable sharing stuff like that, which is true. But anyway, so let's move on to Woody and Armani doing the doom buggy thing. I thought that was cute. She was so scared. And he was like, I got you. So like, hey, I ain't never rode nowhere with you. I don't know what you're going to drive like or whatever. So she's told him she was a little adventurous, but I think he's way more adventurous than she is. And, it was good he said, to see how she reacts and responds. So now let's go on to Brett and Olivia eating the Mexican crickets. Keep going. I wouldn't know. You brave, you bold. Kudos to you. All right. So, they started talking about, how much money they make. And, y'all, I don't think that Brett was ready for this. I think it was way more probably than he even expected. But they did talk about it, and he whispered in her ear and she whispered in his, which I can respect that. I really truly can. But once again, you're on TV. Normally people share. I think I've seen them share. But you know, anyway, they whispered. That works for me. That's fine. Ain't none of our business. You just on reality TV, and you put your business out there, but ain't none of our business. Okay. And he was like, you make 3 times more than me. And she was like, no, not 3 times. So it was like, you know, twice, you know, whatever. So she basically says, you know, listen, this woman must make pretty good money. She likes to travel. She likes to eat out. She likes to just enjoy life. He is not like that. He wants to save money. He wants to cook at home. He don't want to go out like that. And so she's looking like, you know what, this may not work. I want to travel the world with my husband. I want to do stuff. I want to live life and enjoy it. And he wants to be more of the conservative pullback. And it may work because maybe she's a spender. Maybe he's a saver, and it just may work. Hey. So they also talked about, you know, how many times each other, you know, as far as their sexual drive and stuff like that. And he was like, you know, hey, 7 days a week if he could. And she was like, you know, when she come home from work, she's exhausted. She's tired, you know, and she may just want to go straight to bed. Again, I don't know because her lifestyle seems busy and he'll seem a little bit more relaxed and laid back. So I don't know. Him being a man sometimes is total opposite, but you know, I don't know. Because he seems like, you know, he likes the attention of a woman or his woman. So I don't know how that's going to work. So anyway, this is the fun part, which I liked. Well, Henry and Christina were doing the little stand-up canoe thing. And so Henry was, he said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to fall off. Here is the truth. I'm telling y'all, his personality came out. You know, he jokes last episode, but he joked and he just had a good time with it. And so Christina ended up falling off, but he was really having a good time and enjoying it, and he stayed on. And when she fell off, him was like, oh, I almost was a widow. And he said, dog, I ain't take out no insurance policy on you yet. So I think that was fun. She enjoyed it. She was like, he actually was good at it. And so, yeah, I think we got a chance to see Henry and his sense of humor. So, yeah. Let's go on to, now this is where Britt and Olivia were doing the scuba diving and the stingray. Now, this is why I said Spectrum tried to mess me up, because at that time my TV, that particular channel froze, and the DVR froze. Needless to say, it skipped when it did come back on an hour later, and I was mad. But when it did skip, it left all of this part out about the rating and all that stuff. But I was able to go to, and I'll tell you the name, I was able to watch a little bit of it on YouTube. So y'all will have to tell me, because Spectrum did not put that in there. And yeah, they messed me over real good. But I sent them about 15,000 tweets on Twitter. Oh, I digress. Okay, so I'm going to come to that rating part, but just hold on. So let's see. Let's go on to Amelia and Bennett when they were talking, and they was talking about, you know, romance and all this stuff. And I guess they did the little camping thing, you know, like I don't know. And he was talking about what's romance and what he like and stuff like that. She was tired. She was going to sleep, and I don't know if she was snoring or they put that in there, but yeah, she was snoring. It just like he kept on talking. I guess he said, let me go and cut these lights out because you're going to sleep. Amelia and Woody had a romantic evening, and I don't know if room service did it or he did it, but roses were all on the floor, you know, and in the tub, and she got her swimsuit, and they put in their swimsuit, and they just got in the tub and they started talking and stuff, and he's like, really, I'm really not a mushy guy, but I guess he is in this mood and he's just loving it. So he said, really, I'm not a mushy guy. I'm complete honesty. I feel so at ease with you. I feel like I could be myself with you. You make me a better person. And even though they've only known each other a few days, I say 7 or 8 days or whatever, he did say this. And so they took another shower together and all that stuff. And later on, you'll find out that they did consummate their marriage and they had a good time. So it was romantic and they enjoyed it. So hopefully, because they did do this, it won't interfere with anything else, because they did have great chemistry. Brett and Olivia. Now, this is where Brett is, anyway. He got it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna come back to that part because, like I said, this part was left out. So now I understand why this part is attached to this part. So I'm gonna come back to that. So let's go on to Karen and Miles. Karen and Miles were talking over breakfast and stuff like that, and Miles wants to know, how is our intimacy level as far as when we're gonna consummate our marriage, and how do you feel about me and all that stuff, and they were sharing, and I think he asked, well, how will we know? She said, well, we'll just know when it's the right time. Things are just going to click. He was like, well, how will we know? And I want to know that too, because she's way slower than he is, and he could be ready, but she's not. So how is he supposed to know? And so she said, whether it be, don't look at the other couples, because he was just talking about the other couples and how they are. It's like, don't look at the other couples. It could be ours, could be 3 months, it could be 2 months, it could be 2 years. It could be never. And he was like, never. And she was like, I'm just saying, and he was like, never. So I guess that was a red flag for him, and that stuck in him, like, never though. I understand what you're saying, but why would you use those words? Because we're married, and I think that was a dagger for him. To me, she seems more, she was like, well, you just know, I'm not just saying never, but you know what I'm saying? So, basically she was saying, don't ask me. In this clip, I seen her being, when he called her a cougar, I seen her being his a teacher and he's the student. So she was like, let's move on. You don't have to ask me that no more. Her whole demeanor changed, her whole attitude changed. So I'm honestly want to know where they are right about now. But of course, still following, because the social media can give you insight on where they are, but I don't want to know. I want no spoilers. Armani and Woody, we talked about that. So now let's get to this rating thing, okay? So, like I said, Spectrum sucks. I don't like it, and it totally took all of this out. So, and I think this was very valuable. So if I skip some stuff, y'all, I'm so sorry, but I was able to go to Liz Long, and this person had a clip of just this part of the rating. And so Woody, they were talking about, what would you rate your marriage or your spouse where you are now from a 1 to 10? Woody said a 9 because, I like what she is now. I like where we are. I would rate her a 9. Miles said an 8 because she's not really comfortable with me. So she's not really comfortable where we are. So I'm gonna give it an 8. Henry said a 7. We kind of working through some things. Money said a 9 because that's funny that they both rated 9 because and I'm not sure if this was before or after. This may have been before or after. I don't know. But anyway, because she's still scared. Karen said a 6 or a 7 because he's sweet, but she looking for a more masculine man. Maybe she like was Christina. Maybe she used to dating thugs, or what I'm saying. I don't see where Miles is not masculine. Maybe she's still focused on that age and that he play, but I don't see where he's not masculine. I see where he's masculine, but you have some men that are a lot more masculine than others. And remind you, I think, that he's a mama's boy, so maybe he has a level of, on a woman's level as far as he understands a woman a little bit more, and he's more sensitive to your needs and just maybe sensitive and emotional, period. So I don't see where Miles is not masculine just because he's maybe more in tune with maybe his emotions. Did he cry in front of you? You know, I don't understand. Even when you went on his Instagram stories, Karen, you said that he's emotional. What does that mean? What does that look like? Was he crying? Was he excited? Was he happy? Was he just, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of women want a man that's in touch with his emotions, maybe not all over the place, but to where this man is not heartless. So Karen gonna have to help me with that one, because she keeps saying masculine, he's too emotional. So what does that look like? What does that mean? And so let's move on to Christina. Christina said that she rate her is a 5 because of course Henry is slow. He's not opening up, and you know, she wants him to be, you know, to be in charge. So we know about them. Now let's move on. I don't know, like I said, this part was skipped, so I don't know what Bennett and Amelia was rating each other, but it's probably a 9 or 8 somewhere up in there if they said it on here. Now Brett said that Olivia said a 7, and Brett ended up hearing her, but Brett said that, you know, he's not gonna do it. Y'all know Brett is on a reality TV show, and he's not participating in a lot of the stuff that they need to do on this reality TV show. Yeah, he should have just stayed at home, okay? Because he don't want to tell you how much he make. He don't want to tell you when they consummated, if they consummate their marriage. He don't want to rate nobody. He don't want to participate. He just don't want. He opt out. So he said he's not going to participate in it. It's dehumanizing. How can you rate your spouse? This is crazy. So yeah, and he overheard her rate him as a 7, which when they got back to the room, it put him in his feelings, because she was like, and she noticed how his vibe changed, and he had attitude, and she was like, okay, so let me just talk this out. What are we going to do when we get back? And he was like, what you want to do? You know, she was like, well, what's bothering you? You know, and he didn't want to tell what's bothering him, but he ended up telling that next morning that he overheard her say that she rated him as a 7, and he felt some type of way about it, you know. So get over it. You know, you could have said that at that time, and his feelings was hurt. Well, he is. He better be glad she rated him as a 5. And Christina ended up talking to, like I said, a lot of this stuff I didn't see, but Christina ended up talking to. They had a sit down with Brett and Olivia, and it was Henry and Ben. It was Henry and Christina. She went back to it like, why didn't you want to rate it? What is it about it? And she was like, I don't find nothing wrong with it. He was like, oh, okay. So he's not bothered, but he's not bothered that she bothered about the fact that you didn't want to rate it. And evidently Christina and Henry had conversations off camera about Olivia and Bennett and how they are awkward, or how Bennett is with sweet Olivia. And to me, probably Henry and Olivia probably would have been a better match for them. And maybe, I don't know, Christina and Bennett would have been a good match. I don't know. But yeah, so they were talking about it, and Christina ended up telling Olivia, you know, when the guys walked out, that, you know, you probably want to watch him because he doesn't seem to be in tune. He doesn't seem to be with what you are looking for. You're sweet, you're kind, and he really truly just watch out for him, because he may not be what you need. And she may already know that. So, you know, yeah. And I guess somebody need to talk to Christina and say, be a little bit more patient with Henry. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, y'all, I enjoyed it. Although Spectrum really truly made me mad and got me frustrated because I could not see what I needed to see, which I thought was very valuable to this whole episode. But anyway, I digress and I move on. Okay, so on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm excited to see when they get into their own houses, their own living spaces, and we're gonna see exactly what and how they are truly operating in their own space. So that'll be next week because they're now over the honeymoon thing. On that note, don't forget to like this video. If you liked it, make sure that you subscribe to this amazing channel. And if you're watching this via Facebook, make sure you do what? Like, comment down below. Let's get the conversation talking. You guys love to talk about this, and I love to interact with you guys in the comments down below. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Don't forget to do what? Go with God and let God go with you. And I will see you guys on the next video. Deuces.